for being with us for the second time in this chamber. He has been here before. Uh, Sir, Bharat Chamber actually is very, very active in defense sector. It all started from 2018, 19 probably, 2018, when we had a 3 days conclave, the first defense conclave of 3 days under the chairmanship of presidentship of Sitaramji. And this was in collaboration with the Department of Defense Production and the Army. It was a conclave which was very largely attended. It was a conclave which was also inaugurated by Ajay Kumarji. A lot of people from the defense sector participated in that conference. And it is because of that particular conference that with the initiative of Ajay Kumarji, we have been able to establish a defense facilitation center. So this is the first facilitation center which is in Eastern India in any chamber of commerce, which was also followed by several other meetings. We had a seminar on defense export, which was held in July 2019, where Ajay Kumarji also attended that seminar. Then with Rajiv Bau, I had the opportunity to visit Defense Expo in Ahmedabad in 2022, October, I think, Rajiv Bau. And we were Bharat Chamber, and there were only two chambers who were given a speaking slot. And we were one of the chambers who were giving a speaking slot. And we spoke on the pricing strategy on the defense sector. The other thing which we initiated was to involve MSME in the Eastern India. And how do they involve MSME in the Eastern India in the defense sector? Because it is the MSME whom we are targeting to manufacture things for the defense sector. Now, how do we do that? So what we did, that at the initiative of the Ministry of Defense, we started going to Tier 1, Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. This is where we went to. And the last visit was in Havda. I mean, they chose Havda. The Defense Ministry said we must have this seminar in Havda, and we invite the medium and small scale units to come to Havda. So they all came, and you'll be happy to note that that particular meeting, was attended by very large foreign companies who are now operating in India, like Airbus participated, Saffron participated, BAE System participated. So therefore, this is how we are moving. So today, it's a testimony to the fact that we have Major General Arunji Roy with us. Thank you very much for being with us. Then we have the representative from Ichhapur. We have the representative from Kashipur. They were the first gun shell factory in India. I mean, their representative are here. And thank you being with us, sir. And then we have the representative from Garden Reach Shipping Yard. I mean, recently the President of India came to Calcutta to inaugurate one of your functions, So it's a great feeling that you all are here. So why are we giving an importance to the defense sector? I think today we are not only the largest importer in the world. I mean, 3% of the global output India is importing. I mean, that's the kind of. I don't know whether you all are aware, we are also the largest employer in India. I mean, about 3 million people are there. Apart from being the largest importer, we are the fourth largest spender in the world. I mean, this is something which is, and in this particular budget of 2023-24, our defense budget is about 5.93 lakhs crores. But the only fallacy is that most of this, about over 60% to 70% of this goes in pension and salary. So therefore, we get about 1/3 of the amount to spend towards the capital expenditure. So this is one problem which is there. But then, being an importer, we have also now become an exporter. I mean, we have also become an exporter. And the target is to export to 75 countries, sir, if I'm not wrong. You export your equipment to 75 countries. And it is only in February 2023, the Prime Minister said that, by 2024-25, our export will be to the extent of $5 billion. So this is something which is, and why we are on defense sector, on 2022-23, our value of defense production has crossed 1 lakh crore mark. This is also a very, very important figure, having crossed 1 lakh export mark. I mean, these are some figures which is, and our defense minister in recently said that over 75% of the goods required by the defense sector would be procured indigenously. So in 2019, it was 54%. In 2022-23, it was 68%. And the target for 23-24 is now 75%. So this is how, we want to go for an internalization of the defense sector. So therefore, defense sector is very, very important. We will be the 5th country in the world to manufacture jet engine by 2026-27. We have entered into a partnership with the United States of America, and we would be manufacturing jet engines. So this is how we are progressing. And this is a sector which is a new sector for entrepreneurs, where, if you really look at it, I mean, no other country has, after the World War II, has fought so many wars as India has fought. I mean, this probably, if you really apply your mind, you will see that India has fought the maximum number of wars. We had 4 wars with Pakistan. We had 1 major war with China. Then we have these border disputes and incursion in borders all the time from China. So, in fact, I was reading, we had with China in 1965, we had Akai Sichin, then we had in 1967, we had Nathula and Chola clashes. In 2021-22, we had Pongong Toso and Galwan Valley. So always there has been, so therefore we have to be very, very strong in our defense sector. And as you said that, the time has come that we cannot be the largest importer. We also have to be the exporter and manufacture indigenously. I mean, that is why, we always said that the defense sector is one sector which is absolutely a new sector and which has a lot of scope. I don't know whether you all people have any idea as to the kind of growth we have done in the defense sector. I mean, I had the opportunity, and Rajiv Babu had the opportunity to visit Defense Expo in Ahmedabad. And the kind of defense equipments which we are manufacturing, may it be battle tank, may it be drones. I mean, it is something which at least I couldn't believe that the India has progressed so much in last few years as far as the defense sector is concerned. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. I mean, unless I would not have gone to that expo in Ahmedabad, Rajiv Babu, I would not have known. And that is why, in 2020, we had a major defense reforms. And one of the major defense reforms has been that, connecting our border area, which is one of the very major defense reform. And we had a new post called the Chief of Defense Staff to coordinate with the three chiefs. And then the most important reform was Make in India. I mean, this was the most important reform as far as the Make in India, the defense sector is concerned. I think today is a very important session from the point of view of Bharat Chamber of Commerce, from the point of view of Eastern India, where we want to involve MSME to involve actively in the defense sector. Bharat Chamber would like to be a catalyst as far as production in defense sector is concerned. Everybody is looking forward to hear Dr. Ajay ji, but before I do that, I would request Rajiv Babu to introduce today's theme. And with this, thank you very much, and thank you, Ajay ji, for being with us this morning. No, what do you want? Okay.
Dr. Ajay Kumar, President of the Chamber, and all members of the Chamber, guests, from the news and media persons. Today, we will be hearing ex-retired Defense Secretary on defense innovation ecosystems and opportunities, because the entire spectrum is getting revolutionized for the private participants to enter individually and through collaboration with the public in this field. During past few years, several policy initiatives taken by the Government of India to encourage indigenous design, development, and manufacture of defense equipment has revolutionized the defense innovation ecosystem and opportunities in India. These initiative includes according priority to procure capital items from domestic sources under Defense Acquisition Procedure 2020. Capital outlay for modernization of defense services has gone up from rupees 80,959 crore in 1920 to 1,32,301 crore in financial year 23-24. Out of which 75% has been earmarked for procurement from domestic sources and 25% from foreign sources only. During the last 5 years, from 18-19 to 22-23, out of 239 capital acquisition contracts signed for procurement of defense items, equipments, 168 contracts amounting accounting for 68% have been signed with domestic vendors. It is a great achievement. Moreover, notification of 4 positive indigenization list of total 411 items of services and 4 positive indigenization list of total 4,666 items of defense PSUs, for which there would be an embargo on the import beyond the timelines indicated against each. Further, simplification of industrial licensing process with longer validity period, liberalization of FDI policy allowing 74% FDI under automatic route, simplification of make procedure, launch of mission dev space, launch of innovations for defense excellence, IDX, scheme involving startups and MSMEs, implementation of public procurement, preference to Make in India Order 2017, launch of indigenization portal, namely Srijan, to facilitate indigenization by Indian industry, including MSME, reforms in offset policy with thrust on attracting investment and transfer of technology for defense manufacturing by assigning higher multipliers, establishment of 2 defense corridors, one in UP and another in Tamil Nadu. Opening up of defense research and development for industry, startups, and academia with 25% of defense research and development budget, and progressive increase in allocation of defense budget of military modernization for procurement from domestic sources. In order to encourage participation of public-private industry, especially MSMEs and startups, to design and develop various defense technologies indigenously, Government of India has created a technology development fund, which is administered by DRDO under Make in India initiative, and for which a SOP has already been formulated way back in 2016. As on date, 41 MSMEs and 20 startups have been benefited from the scheme. The world's top 100 defense industry companies 2023 list, excluding that of Russia because of the Ukraine war, has recently been announced. Unfortunately, none from India figures out of the first 100 list of defense industry companies for 2023. None from India figures, although 1 from Saudi Arabia, 4 from Turkey, 1 from Brazil, 1 from Singapore, and 1 from Poland figures. Even 1 from Saudi Arabia one from Singapore Technologies, one from Brazil, and 4 from Turkey. Unless we have defense conglomerates with economy of scale in production, India may not be able to achieve a turnover of 1.7 trillion in defense goods and services by 2025 and achieve a target of rupees 40,000 crore worth of export of defense goods and services by 2025. Private sector with deep pockets need to be encouraged, therefore, to invest heavily in aircraft manufacture, warship building, etc., so that the scale can be achieved at a short time. Like Indian Navy, they don't have any minesweeper at the moment. We are not manufacturing. All the shipyards, they are only manufacturing, and that too, destroyer is only manufactured in Majgaon Deck Limited. And rest, others, whatever we are manufacturing is not up to the mark, in the sense that whatever we require, we are falling behind. So there are a lot of scope for the private sector to invest in these areas. Similarly, in the manufacture of aircrafts, all the orders are being placed on HAL, but HAL's capacity is limited. So therefore, further capacity has to be created. Maybe in the private sector, maybe as a joint collaboration with the HAL. And if we do not do it, then we'll be falling behind in our target. Further, defense sector PSUs, including DRDO, need to be reformed so that the scale can be built up within a short period of time. Fortunately, with regard to reform in DRDO, and Government of India has already initiated the steps. Moreover, the startups on their own may not grow exponentially within a short time as they are constrained by fund and technology. Some startups which have come up after 2014, like Ahmedabad-based Sagar Defense Engineering, established in 2015, and operating in drone, aircraft, and USVs areas, namely another Optimized Electrotech, founded in 2017, established based in Bangalore, providing electro-optical solutions, and New Space Research and Technology, Bangalore-based, established in 2017, providing cutting-edge solutions for airspace, industrial UAVs, collective robotics, etc., have made a name in these areas. But then such startups have to be further encouraged with infusion of funds and with talents. Hopefully, the already created defense innovation and ecosystems in India would encourage the public-private partnership to flourish in India in making India Atmanirbhar in defense production. For the last few years, that already this innovation ecosystem has been created. 9 years have passed, and hopefully in another 9 years, we'll be able to make a mark in these areas. And we will like to hear from our main speaker about this defense innovation ecosystem and what is in the mind of the Ministry of Defense. So I would now request, before that, Sitaram Sharma, former President and Mentor Defense Subcommittee, Bharat Chamber of Commerce, to give his perspective on the same.
How much he is involved in the defense sector is the testimony to the fact that in spite of his not keeping a good health, he has come all the way and attending this meeting and also agreed to share his thoughts. So thank you, Sitaramji, for taking interest in the defense sector.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I'll begin with first thanking the President, because I'm so happy, so grateful to him that he's carrying forward this work of the defense sector, which was initiated by the Bharat Chamber of Commerce. And I think I had all the apprehension whether this will be further carried on or not. But I'm so happy that he has not only carried on, he has further improved on it, and we are really doing very well. My only disappointment, not with the chamber, with the MSME in our state. MSME with the West Bengal, not only West Bengal, MSME sector as a whole. Government has offered almost all the gates, they've opened all the gates to support the MSME. Government is here, sitting just beside us. When I took this initiative, I'll say very frankly and openly that it was largely because of the government of India, particularly Dr. Ajay Kumar. I didn't know him earlier. I just went to him Delhi just to meet him and request him that this is what we are planning to do. He opened the idea, he came forward and gave us all the support. And only because of his support that we could organize so many programs, so we achieve whatever we could achieve. Only because of his support, we got it. And not only that, he continued that relationship with us. And I hope his relationship continues with us for all the time to come, so that we continue to get his guidance and all that. You see, basically, all the other initiatives which Dr. Ajay Kumar has taken, whether it is like, it's not only the MSME. I was just telling him that I think MSME as a whole have not been very active in this area. Like whatever MSME we have got in Bengal, in our own state, they are not taking the full advantage of the schemes, opportunities offered by the government of India. I don't know why. Otherwise, we could do a lot of things. And moreover, I'm so happy with the whatever initiative government of India has taken. Similarly, I don't know why that government of India also is not taking full advantage of the schemes offered by government of India. This, I don't know, I can't explain it. Because even when I organized this seminar, I found that the scheme was not being was fully supported by the government of West Bengal. And this was very disappointing as far as we are concerned. I don't want to speak for long, and basically I came here to pay my respect to Dr. Ajay Kumar and to thank him once again for all his support and for whatever I do. And with these words, I will again convey my thanks and regards to Dr. Kumar, and hope he will continue the same relationship with our chamber. And we from our side, we will try to all the new schemes, all the opportunities which they provide us, chamber provides us to establishment our relationship. We will do that. With these words, I once again thank Dr. Ajay Kumar and thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. President of Bharat Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Khetan, past president and very dear, I will not say friend, but my respected elder, Mr. Sitaram Sharma ji, my dear friend, Dr. Rajiv Chakravarti, and other guests and members of Bharat Chamber. For me, this visit is actually a visit down the memory lane, because 4 years back, slightly more than 4 years back, I was here and I was just sharing some of the pictures of that event, which I had opportunity to address at that time as Secretary Defense Production. And I'm aware, because Mr. Sharma had come and expressed the desire that what could be done to get more active participation of defense of industry in this region, in the defense ecosystem. And as the Secretary Defense Production, I was in the process of trying to engage with industry all over the country with defense. And therefore, I was more than happy to come here. And a lot of work was defense done by the chamber to see how they could engage. Friends, between 2018 and 2023, there is a world of change that has happened. The president spoke about DEF Expo 2022. I was reminded of my experience after joining the Defense Ministry. And I don't know if any of my colleagues from Ordnance Factory Board or GRSC would remember this. One of the first meetings or one of the first tasks that I was responsible for was to hold the Defense Expo. I joined in December 2017, and the next Defense Expo was due to be held in Chennai. And the team who was responsible for organizing the DEF Expo came and they made a presentation and said, "Sir, we must go ahead and make these arrangements." So I had the whole presentation, very nice presentation. And then in the end, they said, roughly we used to spend about 100 crores on a Defense Expo. So I said, all right, I mean, we'll first do this, but why are we doing this? So they said, we are doing this because this is a big event, is one of the largest events in Asia. A lot of companies come and showcase their equipment. Then again, I asked that, look, why are we doing this though? If companies are coming and showcasing their equipment here, why am I spending 100 crores to enable them to come and showcase in India? He said, no, the armed forces will come and they will have an opportunity to see these products. But I said, look, if those companies want to sell, they will come and show their equipment to armed forces anyway. Why should I spend my 100 crores for this? And so for the first time, we said, no, we must reorient this, because we are going to spend 100 crores. And we must reorient this to focus on Make in India. And I said, no, please go and change your presentation. And we will now, henceforth, our effort will be to promote. After 1 week, they came back. We had another round of presentation. And the title was changed, DEF Expo, Promoting Make in India. And we went through the whole presentation, but effectively to the same thing, because it was the same company, same model, same structure. Because there was no other conception that was there. I mean, that is the only model that was known. And most of the companies who were coming were foreign OEMs who were showcasing, apart from our defense PSUs who used to be there. So I said, no, that this will not work. We want to work out some strategy by which we will have more focus on Make in India. So this is not on. Please go back and rework on it. They went back. And after 1 week, they again came back with a reworked model. And we had the presentation again. And friends, lo and behold, it was the same presentation. And I thought, either they had just no way by which they could conceive of a different model, or maybe there were other reasons or pressures which were so strong that they were not willing to look at other models. So at that time, we decided we will change the people. And for the first time, the organization of DEF Expo was taken out of MOD and was given to HAL. And this, of course, my colleagues from Defense PSUs will remember. It's since continued with HAL. We created the first Make in India DEF Expo in Chennai in April 2018. We created something called the India Pavilion, where we started showcasing the best of Indian industry. And we said we will allow free exposition in India Pavilion to the Indian industry, which was something, how can you allow free? I said, you are allowing foreign OEMs to come, and why can't you allow Indian industry? So The India Pavilion was created in Def Expo. But the fact remained that there weren't too much of industry, although we did project whatever best was there at that time at Chennai. But the theme had changed and the orientation had changed. The objective had changed of Def Expo. It was to promote Make in India. In fact, we did the usual display of what we call as fly past and other things, in which we only had Indian made platforms perform that, whether it was air platforms, whether it was land platforms. And of course, Navy also in Chennai put up the show of only in naval ships, Indian made naval ships. Fast forward 2022, you visited it. Some other people may have visited it here. I come with a background of technology. I have worked a lot in IT sector. And in the 90s and 2000, I used to go to these IT fairs. And there used to be a buzz in those IT fairs. Massive excitement, buzz because of the excitement of people who were participating, because the sector was booming. In October 2022, when we did the Def Expo, it was that kind of a buzz all around, where Indian companies, in fact, in October 2022, we took a decision, we will have only Indian companies do the Def Expo. So there were no foreign OEMs. And it was the biggest ever Def Expo, which was held in the whole history of Def Expo. There were at least, I'm forgetting the number, but at least 30, 40, 50 countries who came to see Indian products. And I can tell you firsthand that we had at least requests from 20 countries who said, we want to buy from India. Ketan Sahab, you said we aim to export to 70 countries, 75 countries. We are today exporting to 75 countries. We're already exporting. What was in 2018, 17-18, 1,400 crores of export is today now 17,000, 16,000 crores, about 10-fold increase. But more importantly, today, and Dr. Rajiv has seen it, I have seen it, our colleagues from other PSUs may have seen it, many of our industry friends may have seen it, where we used to go and seek technology. Friends, today, the foreign OEMs are coming looking for Indian partners to work in defense technology. And I think there is going to be no other time. The reasons for this is today because they see the Indian market. But more than the Indian market, they see India's influence in the global arena. And through India, they see a global market, which India provides. And therefore, I think I would like to, I am not, saying that nothing has happened, but I think not enough has happened in this area. And I don't understand why, because some of the smartest business houses are here. Today, if you look at the defense market, if you look at any market indicator, defense is the hottest property going. And there are various kind of opportunities for all sizes and scale of business. I have seen small organizations starting from couple of crores to big organization working with couple of thousands or more thousands of crores in defense and making money. But one major shift that has happened is, so there is a great opportunity, and this window of opportunity are because of some of the policy measures that have been taken in the last few years. I don't want to repeat them. You all know them. But one of the major shifts which I want to mention that has happened is that we were earlier largely doing transfer of technology or licensed technology based production. Today, we are increasingly creating technology. Still long way to where we would want to be. In large number of items, we still do not have but in many of these areas where we have seen tremendous amount of appreciation and acknowledgement, it is where we have created technology. When we are doing licensed technology, one of the biggest challenges that you still are not self-reliant. You're still dependent on the OEM or the country which has licensed your technology. No matter even if you are doing whatever value addition you are doing here. And once he has given you technology, he will put conditions on it. Conditions of how many units you can produce, whether you can change anything or not, whether you can upgrade anything or not, or whether you can export to anyone or not. So what is the point of that kind of production? You can only produce, if you want to do any additional number of units, you have to go back. If you want to send to a friendly country, you have to go back. And that is why we did not have any defense exports. Not that we did not have the capability, but our model was wrong. There's another challenge of license production. No one ever gives you the best. You only get the second best. And that too at a higher cost. I will tell you my experience for a platform that we have made in large numbers. Based on licensed technology. That platform, let us say, was being built in India for 100 rupees. And the country who had given us the technology came back to us and said, you buy this platform from me, I will give you for 65 rupees. Look at the cost of making in India that we had to pay. There is yet another very big disadvantage of licensed production. In the end, when you have a war, this whole strategic advantage is that in how much of surprise you can element is there when you are fighting a war. But if you are buying something which someone else has given you, today, there is nothing called friend or foe in arms trade business. The same country who has sold to you will also sell it to your adversary. All he needs is his arms business to be developed. So, if you also have it and your enemy also has it, what is the big advantage? But when you create your own technology, then you have a huge advantage. Because he doesn't know what you have exactly. And you have the capability to change it also, even if when he knows. So he's always guessing what you have. This, however, the fact remains that traditionally India has not had certain technologies and we are lagging on in those technologies. For example, jet engine we spoke about. We don't have that technology, and it possibly it'll take another 20 years for us to create a jet technology. We do not have some specialized materials technology. So we are dependent on those technologies. We do not have a semiconductor fabrication chip fab in this country. It will take, and it's a very advanced, complex, capital intensive, with very few people having that capability in the world. We are dependent on those capabilities. That may take time. We may not be able to overcome that limitation immediately. But there is good news. The way the warfare is changing, today we are going for modern warfare. There is much more focus on emerging technologies. From kinetic warfare, we are going to non-kinetic warfare. For example, you can do cyber warfare. There is no movement, no this thing. People are doing information warfare. In fact, half the war today is fought over social media because you are able to demoralize the adversary country. You are going from contact to non-contact warfare. Platforms are becoming unmanned. Unmanned aerial vehicles, unmanned surface vehicle, unmanned robots. Now, in all these new technology areas, we are very good. That is the good news. And that is what we have seen in the last 4 years. I mentioned that we have now started creating technologies. In traditional technologies, we may still have that gap and we need to bridge it. But new and emerging technology areas, we are good. On unmanned platforms, we are very good. In artificial intelligence, we are very good. In quantum technologies, we are very good. I will give you an example of, I was sharing with Rajiv. We wanted to create a chip for 100 megapixel camera, something which we used to import from Israel and is used for large number of high altitude platforms. Under the IDEX challenge, startup challenge, we gave this. This has been going on for several years. We have been buying. A startup in IIT Delhi took the challenge. IDEX, we give 1.5 crores. That is all. In 12 months, they came and gave us the 100 megapixel camera. Our total grant was less than the amount we used to spend for single 100 megapixel camera for a single platform. That was total grant. And then they came and said, sir, give us another 24 months. We will give you 1 gigapixel camera, which except US, no one else was making. The point is, this girl incident, interestingly, when recently Prime Minister Modi was in US for the Modi-Biden summit, and White House had organized a dinner in his honor, was sitting next to President Biden. If you look at this thing, you record, you will see. Because she is now supplying to NASA. An Indian startup supplying to NASA Defense. We first realized this when US Air Force Research Lab approached us when I was Defense Secretary and said, we want to collaborate with New Space, which was mentioned by one of you. We want to collaborate with them. I said, who's this New Space Lab? We had not known him. There is someone called Samir Joshi there. I said, bulao usko bhai, kaun hai ye? So he was called. He's a retired Air Force officer. And he was working on swarms, set of drones. And he came and he said, sir, I have come and knocked all the doors in MOD and Air Force and everywhere else which I could find. And no door has ever opened. And then we realized the folly we were doing. We were going and buying from foreign OEMs. We were denying our own people who were making technology here, while the others were coming here to seek those technologies. The point, and today he is creating loitering munition, which only very few countries. We make big noise about Chandrayaan landing. It's a big achievement. But there are not too many countries who can make loitering munition in the world. Not more than 3-4 countries. The startup is making loitering munition in the world without, much assistance from government. The point I wanted to make is that what this discovered is the capability in the Indian ecosystem to create technology at fraction of the cost we used to spend and fraction of the time that we should spend. And the quality of the work that was doing was not second best. It was best or better than the best. There is a company today, the world is moving towards quantum technologies. And they came and said, sir, we are into quantum key distribution, which is part of quantum communications. And again, in the support of 1.5 crores, they have been able to achieve quantum leap of 150 kilometers, whereas the best even, and this I'm saying 2 years back, the best even today is 90 kilometers in the world. The National Quantum Mission has given a target of creating this capability, which already has been created as part of defense. It is being deployed, and this is not on paper. This is being deployed in Indian Navy and Army as we speak. It is the best in the world that this capability exists. And there is one more feature. If we think that these are few priceless gems, I don't think that is true. Initially, it started with a trickle, but over the last 4 years, what has happened is this trickle has now become a torrent. Not only that, it is not only about solving small problems, it is about solving big problems. In August 2022, we issued 75 challenges in underwater domain for Navy. And all 75 got lapped up in less than a month. Why I'm saying it's important is when you give a challenge, you first assess the person who has offered a solution, whether it is at least on paper looking doable or not. It is not that anyone can say, I want to do this. It's a thorough evaluation done through experts of that field. And there were more. So at each challenge, there could be more than one. So there were several. In October 22, we did space 75 challenges. And today space sector is opened up. All space challenges have gone. And space, there are challenges where we discovered what we called as, I'm forgetting the term we had used, it's kind of embedded challenges because, the final platform may actually involve few 100 crores of development costs. So you create a subsystem. Once the subsystem creates the next level value addition and the third level. And this kind of embedded system. So space challenges are happening today through this ecosystem. And this is happening at scale, large numbers, hundreds. I can say, I am aware that in the last 4 years, at least 100 new companies in defense sectors who have gained their net worth of factor ranging from 2 times to 10 times or more. I have seen companies who were not even on the drawing board in 2018 are today having their IPOs and having market presence and worth going into thousands of crores. I don't want to name anyone here. And it is this opportunity that we must tap. Today is a very vibrant ecosystem in defense. It will give me nothing will give me more happiness if we see some of these companies, at least a few of companies from this region come up and participate. If Titagarh can do it, if Texmaco can do it in railways, then why can't we do it? More companies do it. And like I said, there is no it's not that you need to have 1,000 crores to do defense. There are things that can be done in 1,000 crores. There can be things that can be done in 100 crores. There can things that can be done in 10 crores. And yet, and one more new opportunity which we opened in October 2022 was tying up the financial ecosystem with the defense ecosystem. So even those who are not so aligned with defense, for them, you have an opportunity to actually just participate in the financial ecosystem. There are today private equity funds, venture capital funds, stock market opportunities which are there. Government is into disinvesting some of the PSUs, partial disinvestments. There are opportunities there which could also be leveraged to be able to participate in it. Interestingly, defense does not have any sector. Although we call defense sector, defense is cross, no matter what business you may traditionally be in, there will be a defense opportunity in that sector. So it is something which is there for all people. Let me just quickly, before concluding, talk of some of the things which I had specifically thought I would like to mention. So one is, today there are at least 1,000 plus startups in defense who are actively working on different kind of problems. And defense is all about new technologies. A lot of people whom I know who have actually raised money from market or otherwise, what they are doing is they are actually going and scouting for these startups, collaborating with them, acquiring them, funding them, and planning for their growth through that model. And I think that's one opportunity which that the chamber could explore in their pursuit for getting into defense, because technology development is not for everyone. Those who are in technology can do it, but those who are not in technology can follow this route where they're already. The second is, I think what I mentioned to you today, other countries are coming here looking for partners. We have golden opportunity to be part of the global supply chain in various things. There is increased willingness, especially from US and France, to form joint ventures or to actually certify suppliers. And it's till now, this was a big challenge, but today there is increased willingness by these OEMs to have partners from India, especially because of the changing geopolitical situation also. So I think we must take opportunity to take advantage of it. Third is, I think the Russia-Ukraine war offers a very interesting opportunity. It has, in a way, disrupted the arms supply ecosystem of the erstwhile Soviet Union to a large extent. Both Ukraine and Russia separately have been a big suppliers of some technologies and equipment. India has an opportunity particularly to acquire some of the traditional technologies where we have gaps, and we discussed them just now, from Ukraine, because those industries are today in difficulty. And we can actually, there are two ways of doing this. We can formally collaborate with those companies because they don't see any near future to actually start production in their own country. Or we could actually hire some people who are today without job because their industry is closed. And both these models are one of the fastest ways of acquiring some new technologies which we could carry on. Lastly, there is a huge opportunity for defense offset with France, which remains outstanding. This opportunity is a tune of $5 to $6 billion. And those companies, they need to fulfill it over the next few years. So those companies who are interested in getting into defense, they could actually leverage this defense offset opportunity and try to get into this. And there is the defense segment, I think, offers so many large opportunities, which possibly will take a much longer discussion and much longer discourse to be able to talk about. And then, of course, there are these peculiarities of context-specific, solutions. But I think this is the window. For everything there comes a time, and this time is now absolutely ripe from a defense perspective. And what I would like to say is that if you get into defense now, I think there will be a lot of interesting opportunities. And I hope that some of you will explore these, evaluate these opportunities, and look into it more detail. Thank you very much.
I've been in Calcutta for nearly 20 years now, Mr. Secretary. The US test on technology and technology starts up and what technology is doing today. That's, in fact, it is very encouraging. But what I would like to say that wars are fought by the entire nations. It's not fought only by the military. And wars do not go on forever. So what I've seen of businessmen in Calcutta and the manufacturing capability and the capacity in West Bengal, I personally, I may be wrong, I do not feel that they are in the strata or on the level of where they will take out new technology to build something. Rather, the businessmen over here would perhaps do well to produce something which is useful in the logistic or the administrative side of warfare, which is also very important. And by that, I mean that not only is it useful for the military, when wars are over, it should be useful in the civilian industry as well in the civil, so that they don't go kaput thereafter. That's all that I would like to say. Thank you.
I just not respond really just to add this is an important point. See, it's very important for, General raised a very important point, I don't think defense industry should be focused on defense alone. In fact, world over, most defense companies have a much bigger portfolio of civil market. So I think, and more as we see, most companies who are getting into defense, one of the features that we are seeing is new industries are getting into defense now. Big companies are getting into defense. They're all companies who are seeing defense as one part of their overall product portfolio. Because defense market will be sporadic, will be intermittent, and you need to survive during those periods when there will be no orders. And therefore, the corresponding civil commercial product with some whatever features, modifications are required, you will be able to provide that. That's a thing which is very important. Just wanted to add that.
Sir, I think at least to me, your talk was an eye-opener. I mean, the opportunities which you said that the defense sector now provides, particularly in relation to the cyber warfare, the media warfare, unmanned warfare, which is in fact is not the people who no man would be fighting the war anymore. It would be war would be fought by machines, not by the individuals. So there the technology will play a very important role. As you said, a lot of opportunity to go for collaboration. I mean, this is one opportunity which I find that, an eye-opener for me, that the war in Russia and Ukraine has opened another door to collaborate with the European companies. Either they are not working or they are closed down. Then your point that, the foreigners wants to come to in India, and then there is, if we don't have a technology, they will give you a technology. They want to start up a shop here, and we can, as an Indian, join hand with them and start joint venture. I think this is something which I think about Major General was trying to say, that can be taken care by the Eastern India, that we go for a joint venture. If the USA wants to come in, as you said, France wants to come in, and there are many other companies who wants to come in and bring in their technology, and we bring in. So therefore, this is a win-win opportunity for India. And I find that, if we are really serious, this sector is going to give us a lot of opportunity. It will be an opportunity, a new opportunity for Eastern India. Eastern India was actually, all the defense sector was in Eastern India once upon a time. I mean, it was the Mecca of defense production. So I think it's the right time that, people from Eastern India looks into this. And that is what, Bharat Chamber of Commerce is trying to do, being catalyst. There are a lot of members who wants to go. Our member wants to go for the defense sector. I would not like to name them. And we are trying to keep them in touch with the Ministry of Defense Production, so that, they get sufficient knowledge as to which are the areas they can go into. As you said, the defense procurement can go high and low, but it is not only the arms which you supply to the defense. As you rightly said, this is a whole lot of people who are in the items which are supplied in the defense sector. The shoes are supplied to the defense sector. The jackets are supplied. Recently in Kanpur, a week back, and the meeting was inaugurated by Yogi Adityanath, and one of the persons who hosted the lunch was from Kanpur. Kanpur is a big area of defense, and he was making, and he hosted the lunch, and then he said, for line of business, he was hosting this bulletproof jackets. He was manufacturing bulletproof jackets and doing it in Kanpur. So it is not that, you go for arms and ammunition and things like that. So I think there are many people who are here, and I think Ashish normally don't join meetings of the chamber. His father is regular. So I think he must be having some interest in defense sector. I'm sure about it. So Ashish, I'll give the floor to you, if you because I'm sure you would not have been here unless you were interested in a defense sector. So may I ask you to initiate the discussion, please? Give him a mic, please.
All I can say, sir, it's a pleasure to be here, and to hear Dr. Ajay Kumar, sir, is quite eye-opening and awe-inspiring, if I may say so. And defense is definitely one of the sectors, where I am curious about and I would like to explore further. And definitely it's a pleasure to be here today. And if Ajay sir has time, would like to speak.
Yeah. You join us for lunch after
Thank
this. You please here. Any person, sir, would like to? Anybody else has any questions or has any suggestions, or please go ahead. Please.
Myself from Gaurika, India. So I had the opportunity to visit ITR in Chandipur recently to meet the director there on a personal visit. So the facilities I have seen there, although I spent my 36 years of career in the private sector, so the amazing facilities, which is far better than any of the private sectors like Tata's, L&T's, all these private sectors, the facility is unbelievable. The capacity, the capability of the official scientists are unparalleled. I would like everybody to have a look there, but it may not be possible to visit inside the plant because it is very difficult to get the gate pass and other things. So the replica of all the missiles have been set up in Science City. I do not know how many of you know. If you can spare some time one day, take your family to the Science City and have a look what our DRDO has done. And they have also set up a very big laboratory in Calcutta. I do not know, many of us may not be aware. Opposite to the jail, new jail in Baruipur, the space allocated to them is a Baruipur, opposite to the Baruipur jail. And they have done an excellent facility for the millimeter wave. Sir is telling about the chip manufacturing factory they have developed of 5G for the 5G missiles. And secondly, the Akash missile is a totally indigenous missile they have developed, which is they're exporting to Myanmar and other countries. First time Akash is being exported, and some missiles are deployed also in the armed force. So this is the commendable job DRDO is doing. But unfortunately, this has not been showcased properly. Since I visited, that's why I can see all the launching vessel also. And the Dhamra port also, I was told the long range missiles are being tested in Dhamra port, that Abdul Kalam Island is there. So we can think of entering into the missile business. There is a big market, not only in India, outside India, very few countries have got this technology to develop this type of missiles.
So thank you very much, sir, for your suggestion. I think please get in touch with him, and we would like to actively associate yourself with our chamber. And we would like a lot of members wants to go to the defense sector. So we will arrange a meeting with you all where the members who are interested in the defense sector and take some suggestions and guidance from you and then take it forward. So I think our secretariat would get in touch with you and arrange a meeting with some of our members who wants to go into the defense sector. So thank you very much for your valuable suggestions.
There is a question.
I just have a point. The thing is developing what we are talking, that developing the East for MSME. Now the Eastern zone as such, barring few business houses, is whatever the reasons be that we don't get into. But the thing is, the concentration of capital is widely scattered in Eastern zone. Now, if we have small, really MSME, when a small and I mean, they don't have their own R&D. Whether is feasible is whether the defense ministry and maybe chambers like us, where we can identify the product and throw it to them. For small MSME parties looking for an opportunity to manufacture and search out items, then everyone is not net savvy or maybe information savvy. So I have seen, I have done some program on behalf, I have attended some program on behalf of the chamber. We went to Kharagpur. So I was saying the local MSME people who attended that, and none of them had the idea what they're going to do. So these parties, if we really want to develop, is whether we can, the ministry and the chamber, we can identify and then sort of organize a fair or a seminar with small scale people that we have this opportunity, how many of you can get in. And because finance is not a problem, with SIDBI coming up with wonderful schemes for new entrepreneurs and small entrepreneurs with security where you don't need the collateral security. So SIDBI can be a partner to this, but if we can develop. Thank you.
Sir, your point is well taken. That is what we are going to do. We are going to have an exhibition on this particularly for the MSME of the items which the MSME can manufacture. So therefore, the Rajiv Bhau is in charge of that. And soon we will be having this exhibition. We tentatively had decided to have it in the Netaji Indoor Stadium. I mean, that is our
partner. They were contacting me, SIDBI.
Yeah, we are trying to have this exhibition in Netaji Indoor Stadium, where we'll showcase certain products which the MSME sector can produce in West Bengal. And you will be happy to note that all these large companies also, they want what MSME should produce. Like, we had the Airbus here, we had the Safran here. They would supply us the items which the MSME, they would like the MSME industry to produce. And they are very keen, because they were very keen that we should hold this conference in and call MSME at Howrah. And that is why, I was really surprised that why they want to do it in Howrah. And the hall was full with MSME. It was totally packed for MSME. So therefore, we are going to do that. What your suggestion is absolutely correct. And that is the direction on which the chamber is going. Yes, sir. You are from the press.
No, sir.
You are from the press.
No, sir. Not from. I have a question to President Mr. N.J. Khaitan, sir.
Yes.
We are SMEs and
The meeting is being chaired by.
No, this question is to you because of the purpose of the question that we are a SME working in a defense sector for last 10 to 12 years. We are working with Indian Coast Guard and Indian Navy. We identified 3 different products. Those are being imported from foreign countries, and we are doing our R&D to produce this product for our needs of the Indian Navy and Indian Coast Guard. So as we discussed that the foreign collaboration to develop, to indigenize this product. So do you have any opportunity to collaborate with foreign OEMs or foreign manufacturers so that we can produce?
Keep it, we'll get in touch with you, and we will connect you. Our job is to give connectivity. So
Okay.
be in touch with our secretariat. They will do necessary things to connect you. They will talk to the defense ministry, and with the necessary person, they will give you the connection.
Okay, sir. After meeting, I will in touch with you.
Please do. So, Nareshji.
Anybody from press?
Dr. Kumar, members of the chamber, guests and friends. As this special session comes to an end, it's a pleasure and privilege for me to propose a hearty vote of thanks to our guest in chief, Dr. Ajay Kumar, IAS, former Defense Secretary, Government of India. Thank you, sir, for kindly sparing some of your valuable time to visit Kolkata to address the chamber once again and sharing your enlightening observations on defense, innovation, ecosystem, and opportunities. As the president said, it was truly an eye-opener. Having crossed the 1 trillion rupee threshold of defense production for the first time last fiscal, India's defense sector has without doubt soared to new heights. The ministry has now set an ambitious $25 billion turnover target by 2025 in aerospace and defense. Moreover, India's G20 presidency has acted as an opportune time for engaging in dialogues with countries like South Korea, Italy, the USA, Bangladesh, Kenya, etc., and tilling the soil for a continual growth in the country's defense ties. I must emphasize that the backbone of the current achievements of our country is here with us today, our own Dr. Ajay Kumar. We heard the story, how one thought 2018 can change the entire thing, and how structural solutions were found within the government's systems. This is the work done by people whom we can call Karma Yogis. Dr. Ajay Kumar mentioned about defense is the horseless property going. On a lighter note, as a person from the capital markets, I can certainly endorse this, that defense companies have done phenomenally well on the capital markets, creating a lot of wealth for Indian investors. The message from Dr. Kumar is clear, that the government of India is wanting a very active engagement of the private sector and MSMEs in this huge opportunity in manufacturing in India in defense, and the chamber will be acting as a big catalyst for the business fraternity. It is for the business fraternity to now make use and leverage this opportunity. I also express our gratitude to Ayush Bhushan, Dr. Rajiv Chakravarti, Chairman, Defense Subcommittee, Bharat Chamber, for presenting the theme, and Shri Sitaramji Sharma, our former President and member, Defense Subcommittee, mentor, Defense Subcommittee, Bharat Chamber, for sharing the industry perspective. My thanks are due to the representatives of the media for their presence at the session. With these words, I now request all of you to join me in carrying a hearty vote of thanks to Dr. Ajay Kumar with appreciative acclamation. Thanks. This is
Aye, Sitaram ji, please. Sir, this is, as you know, Durga, and then we are just going to be there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay, yeah. Yes.